helping my parents renovate. This wall decor gotta go.
Be honest, are you the mom or the son?
Okay, I feel really attacked.
There are 5 orange juicy rumors going around about Call Her Daddy. The reason Jay Cutler broke up with Jana Kramer. Were you old enough to remember how mysterious Brittany Murphy's death was? There's a new documentary exploring it all. And speaking of death investigators, I think they've identified the Zodiac Killer. Oh, and of course, we have the Freak of the Week. The big fat salsa show to end the week on. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Politics. This is a mega unconfirmed rumor, and it could be wrong, but I doubt it because I'm never wrong.
That's not true! That's not true!
But I think Alex and Sophia are getting back together for Call Her Daddy.
You need to leave!
Dude, I am telling you, listen to this. Whatever, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, is like a giant digital celebrity tip line where people can send in anonymous inside scoops about anyone famous. So 2 days ago, someone sends in this. Subject, missed call. Message, word on the street is that 2 famous podcast hosts are reuniting after the nastiest breakup. One offered the other a small cut of the large pot they now get in hopes to meet ratings they promised in turn for an extremely large payday.
Take it back. You take back what you said.
How could this be anyone besides Alex and Sophia?
This anticipation, it's making me mental.
Since Alex signed exclusively with Spotify, Call Her Daddy has not been as high as it used to be in the charts. Probably has to do with the fact that she has completely abandoned what the entire premise of the show is supposed to be, which is talking about sex and crazy dating escapades, to now focus on like self-help and serious interviews. Yawn.
It's boring. So boring.
We have so much self-help crap out there, and everyone seems to get more and more helpless. Bring back the dating escapade stories.
That is not what I signed up for.
Plus, both Alex and Sophia have gotten places in NYC this week.
Guys, maybe she's right.
Okay, Alex just signed a $60 million deal with Spotify. She can afford to give Sophia some of that. And she is definitely the type who would swallow her pride, say sorry, and try to mend things if her ratings were not what she promised. I'm sure she's feeling mega pressure right now. Just tell me, do you think I'm right about these 2 getting back together?
Okay, so let's start with just like the basics. So we have kind of told the Daddy Gang in the past that everything is from the trash. So let's tell you guys what is from the trash. The painting. This amazing Coco Chanel painting. Trash. This little desk. Trash. This coffee table. Trash.
After Jay Cutler and Kristen Cavallari's divorce, Jay started dating actress Jana Kramer.
That's considered a rebound.
But it looks like Jay already broke it off with Jana after a short time together. According to E! News, they allegedly started dating because Jay wanted to get under Kristen's skin after trying to rub their relationship in people's faces all around Nashville. The conservatee is that Jay broke it off because he was trying to make Kristen jealous and it wasn't working because she didn't care. That's it. Although she did block Jana on Instagram over it. Come on, Jay. No one likes a try-hard, especially ex-wives. We still love you, though.
Good for her.
I'm not sure how many CUTEservatives remember Brittany Murphy's death. She died in December 2009 from pneumonia. She collapsed in her bathroom and was taken to Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles where she died. She also had legal drugs in her system because she had been dealing with a cold or respiratory infection or something. It was super weird. Even weirder, a few months later in the same house, her husband, Simon Monjack, drops dead, also from pneumonia. The health department tried to say maybe it was black mold in the house. Brittany's mom said absolutely not, and then eventually agreed maybe it was. But then Brittany's father had a sample of her hair tested independently, and it revealed that she had been deliberately poisoned by heavy metals.
What the hell?
Now there's a new documentary coming out October 14th on HBO Max called What Happened, Brittany Murphy, which shows her final days and her husband's supposed shady past.
Actress Brittany Murphy has died
Media
at the
and
age of
paparazzi
32.
surrounded the home that she shared with her husband, Simon Monjack.
Simon took her away. He made sure no one could get to her.
Hi, my name is Brittany Murphy and I go to Hoover Middle School.
Brittany was so wonderful.
There was nobody else like her.
There was kind of a sweet, childish, lost quality that she had that just breaks your heart.
Since we're on the topic of strange deaths, huge news this week. According to Fox News, a team of specialists who investigate cold cases think that they've identified the Zodiac Killer. Where are all my true crime lovers at? This is huge.
One eye open when I'm sleeping. One eye.
There's a team of more than 40 former law enforcement investigators, journalists, and military intelligence officers who call themselves the Case Breakers. Not only do they think that they identified the Zodiac, they think that he's responsible for a different murder hundreds of miles away that was never even linked to him before.
Breakers, a group whose website claims to be made up of retired law enforcement and military members, claims to have cracked the code in letters. The Zodiac Killer wrote identifying the killer as Gary Francis Post, who lived and worked as a painter in Groveland but died in 2018. The group alleges the man is responsible for the murder of Sherry Jo Bates. In 1967, Riverside police received a handwritten letter that led investigators to believe the murder was connected to the Zodiac. But in 2016, investigators received an anonymous letter from a person admitting what was written was a sick joke. Today, Riverside police are still investigating Bates' murder, but are not connecting it to the Zodiac Killer. Meantime, police in Vallejo sent CBS 13 this statement regarding their Zodiac Killer case, the 1967 murders of Michael McGowan and Darlene Ferrin, telling us the case remains under investigation. They add they are unable to confirm or deny the validity of the reports. Jim Jacks has spent his career on the Zodiac Task Force, working to identify the infamous killer.
There has not been a lot of new information developed over the last several years that I'm aware of.
And we made over a dozen calls to the family of the man this group has identified as that killer, but no one answered our calls.
What do you think? Did they get him?
Who can never be sure?
Extraordinary.
Okay, and now speaking of true crime and catching bad guys, today's episode of The Spillover is out. It features former state and federal prosecutor and best case, worst case co-host Francie Hakes. She talks about what it's like to go after the most evil people from a legal perspective, if the FBI is a total lost cause, and discusses her specialty of crimes against children. Subscribe to The Spillover right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. This episode is the best way to start your weekend, I guarantee it.
And if you can believe it, it's a Friday once again.
Benjamina, it's your time to shine.
I said certified freak. 7 days a week.
This week's Freak of the Week is really up to you. Is Molly Ringwald the Freak of the Week? You gotta decide. Shut up! She went on Andy Cohen's Sirius XM show and said that she hasn't watched any of her John Hughes movies with her youngest daughter because of the sexism, racism, and homophobia that she feels they're filled with.
There's elements to those films that I find homophobic. On the other hand, they're also about people that felt like outsiders. So they speak to a lot of people who feel, they're complicated. And I feel like that's what makes the movies really wonderful. And it's also something I wanted to go on record talking about, the elements that I find troubling and that I want to change for the future. But that doesn't mean at all that I want them to be erased. I'm proud of those movies and I have a lot of affection for them. I mean, they're so much a part of me.
Here we go again. It's like she's trying to make sure it's out there that she's publicly disowned them, even though she's like, well, I'm not saying cancel them, just that they're totally racist and homophobic. Can we pause and talk about how problematic Secret Life of the American Teenager was? That acting was a crime. Maybe Molly is just jealous that she hasn't been relevant since the 80s. And Long Duck Dong totally stole her thunder and she knows it.
What's happening, hot stuff?
You've seen The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink. What do you think? Aren't these movies staples for understanding teenage angst and the problems that we all went through in high school? Is Molly the Freak of the Week for this? Go to hell! No! Okay, that's it for this week, Wormies. But before you head out for the weekend, tap this heart on this episode. Tell me if you think Alex and Sophia are getting the old band back together. Does the Brittany Murphy talk look interesting to you? And is Molly Ringwald the freak of the week for not enjoying her own classic films? Share this episode to your stories because I thought this one was super interesting. We're back Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific because we are off Monday for Columbus Day. Yup, we over here still call it that and appreciate what he did. So now you guys have more time to make sure that you're all caught up on the Spillover and Politics episodes. Don't miss them. I'm watching you, just like Marky Zuck. Just kidding. It's pop culture without the propaganda every single day. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Politics. Support Politics, the first ever conservative pop culture daily show, by subscribing to our channel, turning on notifications, and of course, hitting the thumbs up. Also, our main home is on Instagram. Seriously, just trust me, that's when the real magic happens. Follow us there at Politics.